All right, y'all. So today I'm going to be reading these documents from the Greene County Sheriff's Office, which was sealed, but recently made available to the public through FOIA request. I'm going to skip past this part because it does have some personal information. So there are videos which are the exact same but are labeled different titles. Nicholas did not talk about the murder or any plans for him to commit the murder in the videos. Most all of the videos were of Nicholas talking about his relationship with Gypsy and sexual experiences they were going to have. Nicholas mostly rambles on in the videos and does not talk a whole lot about anything but the two's relationship. Nicholas appeared to be talking and acting normal in most videos. There are some videos where he would change his voice and act as if he was another person. The following few videos are mostly the kind of things Nicholas would talk about in all of the other videos. The following few videos' content is written out to give an example of what the rest of the videos are similar to. This was done to save time for someone else to have to watch several hours of videos. The rest of the videos I watched were indicated as nothing pertaining to homicide, same video as video above. Video labeled 2 is over 13 minutes long. In this video, Nicholas is talking to Gypsy's other alternate made-up personalities. He talked about having sexual intercourse with Gypsy and his rough sexual side toward her when they have sexual intercourse. He talked about how he was Gypsy's master and how each personality needed to wear certain types of clothing during sexual intercourse. He talked about how hard it would be for Gypsy to please him and she needed to not disappoint him. He talked about how she needed to make some videos for him. I need you to really remember this part. He talked about how she needed to make some videos for him. Video labeled 6 is over 6 minutes long. In this video, Nicholas is playing with himself and shows his penis to the camera on the device he is recording from. He talked about how he did research on how to get your penis to be full size. He said, according to a website he went to, indicated if you drink a lot of soda with sugar and caffeine, your penis would be fully erect the following day. During the video, he continues to try to make his penis erect while he was talking to Gypsy about the method. He said this was his second attempt at showing his penis fully erect to her, but he does not accomplish this. He talked about how he was not happy with the length of his penis. Video labeled 7 is over 18 minutes long. In this video, Nicholas is talking about how they have been together for over a year. He talked about how most relationships do not last because of the distance between them. He talked about how they have been through rough times, and yet their bond grows stronger even through the hard times. He talked about how he fought for all his ex-girlfriends, and none of them fought for him. He thanked Gypsy for trusting in him, and how she would not go behind his back. He talked about a ring he wore to remind him of her. He said when he goes to the library and observes an attractive woman, he would look at the ring and be reminded of her. He went on to talk about how he was a faithful person, how he did not have to worry about her being unfaithful either. If you don't like my reading, you can, of course, mute it and read it yourself. Just video labeled 8 is over 12 minutes long. In this video, Nicholas awakes from sleeping and started talking on the computer to Gypsy. He talked about what he was wearing to bed, which was a t-shirt and plaid boxers. He messes with the computer's camera, focusing it on his crotch area. He then removed his penis from his underwear, showed it in a limp state, and talked about how he had actually been up for a while, and this is why his penis is no longer fully erect. He showed off his bracelet he was wearing and his necklace. Most of the video was about him wanting to get fully erect to show Gypsy. Video label 9 is over 4 minutes long. In this video, Nicholas talked about how it was 4 o'clock in the morning and he was making a good night video to Gypsy. Video label 10. It is over 18 minutes long. In this video, Nicholas is addressing Gypsy and how her body may be broken physically but not spiritually. He talked about how Gypsy deserved him and his love to her. He told her he only wanted 3 things from her: sex, affection, and her staying true to him. He talked about how they adored each other to the point the other would even murder someone for them. Now, I want y'all to know that this, and you'll learn in the next few videos, is before Gypsy ever asked Nick to do the deed. Video labeled 3813 is over 21 minutes long. In this video, Nicholas talked about how he could see into the future and wanted to warn Gypsy that he would not be home, but he would be at his grandmother's house. He talked about Ash Wednesday, and during this time, he would be very busy doing fish fries. He talked about how he was going to make a trip to where Gypsy was to see her, but he did not go into detail about why or for what reason he was going to visit her. He talked about how he could make a lot of money by playing fantasy sports. He talked about the Disney movie Up and how it reminded him of her. He talked about an account of some sort where he had money possibly saved up, but he never said how much or what type of account or bank. A message from your King Nick and Master Victor about second trial. This is the McDonald's incident. Nicholas talked about his court appearance in Wisconsin and how he had set up a payment plan to pay his fine. He talked about how he was consistent with everything he does and the fine will get paid because the alternative would be spending 4 days in jail. He talked about the date being 11/11/2013. See, before she ever asked him, being his court date, which was the same day he made the video. He talked about how he was testing the media when they interviewed him about his case and how they lied about what he said. Later in the video, Nicholas changes his voice and told Gypsy her master Victor was now the one talking to her. Nicholas, aka Victor, talked about the court fines again. A must brought up topic. Nicholas talked about how Gypsy was worried he only wanted to have sex with her when he was with her. During the video, he told Gypsy if she would just submit to him, then this issue would be done and over with. And Nicholas snaps his fingers. He talked mostly about her giving in and backing down to him. He said he would not back down from her, and she needed to back down to him. Expressing more feeling. Nicholas told Gypsy he was upset with her because she had compared him to a serial killer. He said he had too much of an innocent personality to do that. He talked about how he was hurt and how she hurt him by saying that. He talked about a spell he wanted her to do so they would be bound together forever. He talked about the eyes being the window of the soul, but the ears were the road to his soul. He said he never had a mother or father because they were working all the time and they did not spend enough time with him. He said Gypsy was like a mother to him. Because of this, he had to grow up early. He was a family man with rare characteristics. He said she did not need to compare him to Charles Manson because he did research on him. He then yells at her not to ever compare him to Charles Manson. He told Gypsy she did not need to fear his Dark One coming out and killing her or doing anything to harm her. The Dark One might do sexual things to her, but he would not harm her. He said she had two protectors inside of him to keep her safe, which he mentions two protectors also in the emails between him and Dawn Boker, just to add that. Forgotten sexual instructions from your master, Victor. Nicholas is talking in a deeper voice, and he told Gypsy and her other character, Demona, they had something expensive they needed to wear when they made their video to him. He said they needed to do this so they would not disappoint him, and they would get more videos back from him. He said Demona was built to handle some very sexual things. He wanted Gypsy to wear white and red lingerie. He wanted Demona to wear red and black lingerie because they were vampire colors. He said him, Victor, and Nicholas would be pleased. He said he would be able to dominate her to the point she would be scared, and it would be easy. He told her sex with her master would be pleasure and pain. This one is pretty wild. From the hurt inside. Nicholas talked about before Gypsy came into his life, he was afraid he would never find true love. He talked about how he was going to go to a BDSM website and ordered a chained up slave. He said he was getting hopeless and trying to find true love until she came into his life. He said the Lord brought her into his life before he got to that point. Gypsy's special birthday video. Nicholas is telling Gypsy happy birthday in this video. Then around 4 minutes, 31 seconds into the video, he closes his eyes and Master Victor is now the one talking. Victor told her happy birthday and told her to give him feedback on the video. Nicholas then started talking in his own voice and also as Victor as if they were both talking to her. Important video. Nicholas introduces himself to Gypsy as her master, Victor. He talked about how she was a reliable slave to him and thanked her for her loyalty. Victor then said he was now going to let Nicholas talk to her about something important. He said she should not expect presents from him and all that should matter is time for her. He continued to talk about her being spoiled with his time and not gifts. He said he felt pressured to talk to her because she did not respond to his video about time and presents. Letter confirmation, other topics by your King Nick. Nicholas told Gypsy he had another alter personality who he learned over the weekend was called Chenier, and Chenier was due to come out anytime. And I'm almost positive there's a Chenier in the emails between him and Dawn. Master Victor's message. Nicholas is talking as Victor. He talked about how there are 3 different kinds of vampires in the world. He talked about how the sun gave some vampires their power, and these vampires do not need blood. He said there was human-type vampires who were friendly toward others. There are vampires who get their power from the moon, and they don't need to hunt, but they don't like the sun. He said his breed does not drink blood, they eat regular food, and they hate all other vampires. Master's bonus video with Nick at ending. Nicholas is talking as Victor, and he told Gypsy she will give a hex spell to someone as he commands. He is very firm and authoritative about this. He told her she will do what he said. He talked about how he could break her spell, and he was not joking about it. He gives her several firm warnings, telling her she will do what he said. He talked about how if she did not want to do what he said, he would make her put a hex spell on a female so he could grape her, and even have a gang with this female. He said this does not mean he would kill her, but he would break her spirit forever. He said if he observed someone as sexual, she would need to put a hex spell on this female so he could grape her. During the duration of the video, he continued to command her to do whatever he told her to do. Master's white collar response. Nicholas is talking as Victor in this video. He said Gypsy would earn her white collar when they are in person. He mainly reprimands her in this video for not saying goodnight the proper way. He also talked about what she needs to expect sexually when they are together. Must listen to message from your king, Nick. Nicholas talked about how the Dark One was going to more than likely come out sometime during the evening. He said he knew this because of the songs in his head. Chenier's introduction to Demona and Gypsy. The screen is dark and Nicholas is talking with a different voice, portraying to be whom he called Chenier. Nicholas is very hard to understand in this video because of the way he talked. He called Gypsy by name and then called out to Demona as well. He talked about how he could see everything behind the scenes and he knows everything that goes on. He told Gypsy she had better obey him or he would hurt her, and if she messed up, he would make her life a living hell. He said he had no heart and he had no care in the world. He told her she would do whatever he told her to do when they were together in person. Chenier's next message to Demona and Gypsy. The screen is dark, and Nicholas is talking with a different voice, portraying to be whom he called Chenier. He said he would not reveal his identity to her, even though she requested him to. He mostly talked about how he could make her sad or happy, and she needed to listen to him and obey him. He told Gypsy she was playing with fire, and she thought Demona would help her get out of the situation. She was wrong. He addressed Demona as being his partner in crime, but he did not elaborate on this. He talked about being able to sense things from other people's souls and seeing through their souls. He said he knows her master Victor has something planned for them. He said they needed to obey him, and they had no other choice but to obey him. He said he only had one soulmate, and this was his sister. Now, the only person I can think of that he calls sister is an ex-girlfriend that they do have Facebook messages together. But anyway, and he hoped this could be one big love affair. He said if she could hurt other people and do evil for him, this would prove her love to him and show they are interested in him. Interesting. He said he would prefer to grape her versus having normal sexual intercourse with her. He said if she was willing to help him kill someone and let him grape her, he would not hurt her. Talking to my mistress and my true love with Master Victor. Nicholas is talking at first. Then he introduced Victor, who then spoke. He talked about how he did not want Gypsy to mention something on Facebook. He did not say what it was they were not supposed to talk about. Nicholas comes back and said he did not know what Victor just told them, but thought he heard something about a video. Victor's farewell video to Gypsy. Nicholas is talking as Victor in this video and addresses it to Gypsy. He talked about having a new slave and being a vampire who could do sexual paralysis on someone. He talked about a video Gypsy made for him, and now she gave up her ownership to him. There was ownership papers found on Nicholas's computer. He talked about a journey/trip he would have to take, and Gypsy would have to make sure she did her part to help Demona. He said he was looking for an opportunity to strike. Let me read that again. He said he was looking for an opportunity to strike. He did not elaborate about the journey/trip. He talked about how he had plenty of slaves in the past and she, Gypsy, was not fully trained yet. He said she would be overwhelmed by Nicholas when they meet in person. He talked about the different characters they had and when they all met each other. He talked about how he was not afraid to manipulate anyone. He talked about how he was not afraid to manipulate anyone. He talked about how she should have respectful fear of him. Words of wisdom from your master, Victor. Nicholas is talking as Victor in this video and addresses it to Gypsy. He said as soon as Gypsy is his property, all the back-talking between her and Nicholas would need to stop. He blamed Gypsy for starting the arguments between them, and he wanted to give her some proper words of warning. He warned her it was not a good idea to do this because he could do whatever he wanted to her. He talked about Gypsy signing the paper. She would be his, and everything she owned is his. He would be her official master at that point. He told her she needed to do a response video, and if it were more than 10 minutes long, he would be mad, and if it were less than 5 minutes, she would be in trouble. If she were to make his life difficult, then he would make her life hell. He gave her 5 rules to follow to keep her master content. Think selflessly, worship, obey, honesty, and trust him. He said she should listen to him because he, Victor, was aware of them doing some bad things in the future to get back at a couple of people. He said he could not name who they were since he, Victor, was aware of who they were as much as Nicholas and Gypsy were. Your master Victor's commands and sexual instructions. Nicholas is talking as Victor in this video and he addresses it to Gypsy. He said Gypsy has to make a sexual video for Nicholas and gave her some instructions. Let me repeat. He said Gypsy had to make a sexual video for Nicholas and gave her instructions. He said he wanted her to respond to how she felt about Nicholas having anal and vaginal sex. He asked her to respond to how she felt about being restricted, bound, and him taking her virginity. He talked about how the vagina could stretch out 9 inches, and he wanted to make sure she was okay with it if he was able to make his penis 9 inches in length. He wanted Gypsy to grape him and told her he is turned on by it. Nicholas wanted Gypsy to tell him how she felt about him graping her. The following are videos this investigator thought were of significance from Gypsy to Nicholas, which were located on Nicholas's computer. The following are the files and videos I reviewed and is not intended as a transcript or exact text of files and videos. Gypsy is outside on her deck in her wheelchair and is recording the backyard with her cell phone. She was pointing to several areas close to her house and said these areas were good spots. She did not elaborate on what she meant by good spots. Gypsy is showing Nicholas several baby items she has collected and put in plastic containers. She said Damona got all the baby items and she, Gypsy, did not have to get them. She even thanked Damona for getting the baby items. She said now all she needed was the baby. Gypsy is showing some black and pink lacy underwear she said she would be wearing for Nicholas when they meet again in June. Gypsy is apologizing to Nicholas because of how she acted the day before. She said she would try to be a better person in the future and she would never leave him. Answering your videos. Gypsy talked about how she did not feel she was worthy of Nicholas and she was a broken person and did not know how to fix herself. She apologized several times to Nicholas in this video. You see this as a pattern with Gypsy, as she's constantly apologizing to him. Being owned by Master. Gypsy said she was making this video at the command of Master Victor. She talked about Victor being a ruler of everything and how he was in charge of everything and every part of her. He said he took care of her, and if he asked her to do something, she would do it. She said Victor's words overruled Nicholas's words, and she had to obey him. Gypsy then changes her wig and outfit and called herself Damona and told Nicholas she was commanded to do this video by Victor. She then gets naked and told Nicholas that Victor owned all of her, including her body. Damona Part 1, 2. Gypsy introduces herself as Damona and said she would do anything Nicholas said for her to do. Damona part 2 of 2. This is a continuation from the video titled Demona Part 1 of 2. She continued to talk about how she pledged her life and love to him. Demona Part 3, 2. Gypsy is portraying to be Demona and talked about how Demona, was the reason for the breakup between she and Nicholas. She talked about how she was going to kill herself because she caused them to break up. Demona to Sir Blackwood. Gypsy introduces herself as Demona, and she told Nicholas she was making this video because he commanded her to do so. She talked about how she was a slut and she could hurt someone, but she could not physically harm her mother or Nicholas. She said if Sir Blackwood wanted to beat her for not wanting to hurt them, then he can beat her physically. She said she was very good at stealing and this was her specialty. She went on to explain how and why she was good at stealing. She talked about how she could make money and she promised Nicholas she would do this for him, even if it meant for her sleeping with a stranger for money. She said she could rape Nicholas by tying him up and they would be great partners in crime. Demona's anniversary video. Gypsy introduces herself as Demona. She talks about being in love with him and how she wanted them to live together away from other people. She talked about having children with Nicholas. She said they would have to teach and educate their children what not to say in public to keep him being a vampire a secret. If they had a girl, then their girl had to lose their virginity to Nicholas because he would be the master of the household. She said when she turned 13, she would explain this to their daughter and why she had to give her virginity to Nicholas. She talked about how she was Nicholas's slave and he could have her anytime he wanted. Demona's new message to her master Victor. Gypsy introduces herself as Demona. Demona's sorry to her master. Gypsy introduces herself as Demona. She talks about how she had done something bad and she had disappointed Nicholas. She said she was very sorry for disappointing him because of a profile she had made on the computer. She told him she was afraid of disappointing him and she knew this was wrong. Throughout the video, she begged for forgiveness. She talked about how sorry she was and how she was a submissive slave to him. Gypsy's Big Test, Part 2. In this video, Gypsy is recording herself to Nicholas as he commanded. She had a list of commands from Nicholas to sit and stand in different positions, as well as take some of her clothes off. He commanded her to bow, kiss the floor, and to remove the rest of her clothes. She is fully nude at this time. She is instructed to do a full 360 turn so the camera would catch every side of her naked body. She is commanded to get on her hands and knees. Throughout the rest of the video, she is commanded to pose for the camera and other sexual explicit positions and to play with her breast, vagina, and anus. Gypsy's farewell video to Victor 2. Gypsy is talking as herself and is telling her master goodbye. She often wondered if she had pleased him or not. She talked about how she learned a lot from him and she was sad because it was like saying goodbye to a family member. She appeared to be sad and was crying in this video over saying goodbye to her master. Gypsy's final attempt of humiliation test. In this video, Gypsy is in a bathtub, and she said she was doing this video because she was commanded to do so. She rubbed several food items all over her body, and she felt ashamed and humiliated. She begged her master to let her pass this test. Gypsy's humiliation test. In this video, Gypsy is in a bathtub and said she was doing this video to become Nicholas's slave. She rubbed several items of food all over her body and said she felt ashamed and humiliated. She begged her master to let her pass this test. She said she was completely humiliated and hoped it was all worthwhile. She was visibly upset and crying. Gypsy's sorry message about Jackie. Gypsy told Nicholas, and I believe that is an ex of his. Gypsy told Nicholas she made a mistake and did not mean to go against his wishes. She received a message from Jackie's husband. She said she sent him a message 6 months prior, and then he responded back. She begged for Nicholas's forgiveness and apologized throughout the video. She was visibly upset and crying on the video. She begged Nicholas not to leave her and talked about how she was not perfect. She said she would obey him from now on. She would do or be anything he wanted. Gypsy's video to my evil side. Gypsy introduces herself as Gypsy. She said she was making this video to Nicholas's evil side. She thanked him for what he was going to do for her and both of them. She said she was sorry for not getting all of the ingredients that are necessary. She did not get a taser because she thought they were going to do one plan and then she changed the plan. She asked Nicholas to please not hurt her. She said she did end up getting a knife, tape, handcuffs. She was not specific about what she was talking about. She said she would accept the punishment, whatever it was. I am so deeply sorry for letting you down, Master. In this video, Gypsy is talking to Master Victor, Nicholas. She made a bad mistake because she was not observant. She said she was sorry for not ending a conversation on the computer in the correct way by putting an emoji symbol at the end, and this was why Nicholas was upset. She was punished by not hearing or talking to Nicholas. She talked about how much of her life is disrupted when she cannot talk to Nicholas. She understood why he was punishing her, but she begged him to forgive her and let her talk to Nicholas. She was visibly upset and crying. I'm so sorry, too. In this video, Gypsy was apologizing to Nick for being a bad girlfriend and complaining. She is visibly upset and asked him to forgive her. I'm so sorry, my king. In this video, Gypsy again apologized to Nicholas for not thinking clearly, being confused, and being stupid. She talked about a person who had feelings towards her, but she did not have feelings for him. She told Nicholas it was just a friendship feeling and nothing more. She talked about how she did not want to lose him. She had to explain herself to Nicholas and was visibly upset. I'm sorry, baby, port 1 of 2. Gypsy apologized to Nicholas for getting angry with him. She said Victor can be overwhelming at times, and she loved him. The video was short. My response. Gypsy said she was sorry to Nicholas because she was being a brat about showing her body to him. Nicholas, let me repeat that. Gypsy said she was sorry to Nicholas because she was being a brat about showing her body to him. She was upset with Nicholas because he wanted to look at her whole body and then he would judge her body after he observed her naked. She said she did not want to do this because she was afraid he was going to post the pictures. She apologizes to Nick for not communicating properly. She said she would not backtalk toward him and he did have the right to spank her. She talked about Nicholas' dominant side and how she could adapt to his dominant side and she would be good from now on. She said he was allowed to give her 15 spankings for her being disrespectful towards him. She was not crying in this video, but she was a bit upset. Plea video. In this video, Gypsy was crying and telling Nicholas she was sorry for making so many mistakes. She was pleading for Victor to not take Nicholas away from her. She promised to do better. Gypsy then said she is now Demona and begged Victor not to let any of Gypsy's personalities lose Nicholas. All of her plans in life included Nicholas, and she could not bear losing him. The rest of these videos, it says they're either not pertaining to the homicide or video could not play. So that is the end of that evidence. I hope that y'all, even after listening to me, go back and really read that and really get an idea of what it was like being in that relationship. And I hope